Oh my gosh. So Cape, I don't even know what to say. I'll process later. All I know is we hope she's gonna be okay. Her babies didn't make it. And right now we just want her to make it. Well, this is gonna be raw and real. You know, you can do everything you know to do. You get your animals and you do all the research and you figure out, you know, what supplements to have on hand and what to feed them and make sure, you know, you're doing chores every day and you can do everything right and nothing turns out right. And you can do everything wrong and everything turns out right. You know, I've said many times on this channel that the reason I keep the does that I keep is because they birth like champs. I never have any issues, and until this point I never have had any issues. Last spring I got called up to a friend's farm and they needed my small hands because they had a goat that was just not doing well. And I mean, it was a 3-day ordeal and the doe and the kids didn't make it. And that had been my very first experience like that. And I know it was in preparation for this and what we were going to go through. She's still alive. I hope she pulls through. I'm pretty sure she will. It's just hard. I'm not going to share. I only have a couple pictures and they're really just for research sake so that I can make sure I'm taking better care of my herd in the future. We're pretty sure what happened is a iodine deficiency. Our area is really low in selenium and iodine. It's just a fact. It's one of the reasons I feed really good things all the time. You know, stuff happens when you're farming and when you have a hard situation like what we've dealt with today, and I'll give you a few more details here in a minute, but the first thing I always ask is, why am I doing this? I've cried all day. I've held her, sat with her, been syringe feeding her, everything. So many things. And you know, I could give up. I could quit. I could sell my animals and send them to different homes. And I could not do this life. But someone has to do this life. If we're gonna have animal products or even amazing healthy gardens, someone has to do this job. And the reason I do this job is, number one, to connect my children with their food, and number two, to connect myself with my food. To know that I know that everything was done to take care of these animals every day, that they have a happy life so long as they're on my farm to the best of my ability. And no amount of healthy animals and does that never have problems is a guarantee that nothing bad will ever happen on your farm. And in fact, I can promise you're going to have hard things happen on your farm. If you choose this lifestyle, hard things are going to happen on your farm. It's just the way of it. There's going to be some really hard lessons. If you hear her making noises, she sells and delivered her placenta. So I just milked her a minute or two before I started this video, so she hopefully will be doing that very soon. Plus she's in a lot of pain, so there's that. Hard things are worth doing, and I'm going to encourage you that don't give up. Keep going. Keep on learning and growing and do things better next time. For me, I will be feeding kelp. It will now be part of our feeding program. And just like pumpkin seeds, just like pine needles, sunflower seeds, you know, all the things. You just have to create a feeding rotation and a care plan for your animals that works for you and your farm. And that's, you know, sometimes we have to have really hard things happen. I know, Mama. In order to make a change. And I've been going through a lot of hard things, not just with goats, for a long time. Sometimes really extreme measures are required to be able to move forward, and sometimes you just have to be brave enough to make a change and do it. Messy porch, plants all over the floor, dog food for my kids feeding the dogs. I mean, I've got dirt and blood and poop and feed and water and animal things all over the porch right now. Farm life is messy. Don't compare your life to someone who doesn't live on a farm, because it's a mess. Most of the time it's a mess, and that's okay. And you know, I bless you in being brave enough to do the hard things. You can do it. Be brave. Today, I am so thankful for amazing farm friends. She has a lot of pain when she tries to get up. So, anyway, that's what that was. She just needed a shift. Anyway, if you've experienced something really hard, I don't even care if it's on a farm or not, be brave, courageous. Don't give up. Get back up and try again. The hard things really are worth doing. And if we don't be brave and we don't stand up and we don't have courage to face whatever it is, how will we ever teach our children that we can do hard things, that they can do hard things, that we can overcome? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened. It's simple, really. It's just very painful. I'm not going to show you any pictures. I don't have any footage. Okay, well, now I have the washer going because I'm running out of towels, and I ran out of storage on my phone, so I had to delete some videos before I could finish this with you guys. Basically what happened was the babies were stillborn, and one of them was the biggest goat I've ever seen. One of them was tiny. They were to term. I mean, I've been feeling her every day, so or just watching her and seeing her sides kick, so I knew that they were alive until whatever point, but there's no way to tell what time she started labor because it would have been in the middle of the night. But when I came out to do chores this morning, I already saw one leg sticking out, and she was pushing, and obviously like in distress. Like I knew it was not a watch and wait and see what's gonna happen kind of thing. It was a get your butt moving, and I mean, you're gonna end up going in. So I gloved up, got all my birth kit stuff and towels and everything, headed out there as fast as I could, and couldn't, when I went in, I couldn't find a head or another leg, or, I mean, it was like so confusing. And I mean, there's like really, fortunately I have small hands, but there's no room in these little goats to really manipulate around too much. But I mean, I would have been fine if I could just grab another hoof. I would have been able to, do what I needed to do. But I knew very quickly, like, you need extra help. Like, this is way out of your line, out of your experience and knowledge base. So I did pull up a birthing document, to see different positions, and was like, none of these what was going on didn't match any of them. And I was not entirely sure if I had a front leg or a hind leg. I was pretty sure it was a hind leg, and after, I mean, now I know I was right. But for whatever reason, like, I could not find another leg. And so I started reaching out to my farm friends that live very close, and I knew had experience with this. I have some friends who have lambs, and very quickly my friend's husband was able to come over, and he went in, and he was like, what? Like, we were just baffled as to what was going on. It like, nothing made sense. So I reached out to another very, very experienced farm friend who's been, who knows how many babies she's helped to deliver. Anyway, she's like amazing. And so of course she came down and said that this is one of the hardest deliveries and presentations she's ever seen. Well, now, like, we've all kind of processed a little bit what's happened. We're pretty sure it's because they were already gone, and so in that case, like, they're not helping being born. And so then, every time she would get like a leg, and then another leg would just slip out of the way, and there were 2 babies. That's a lot of legs. That's 8 legs right there. And then like, they were just floppy in there, and there was no muscle tone. So I would imagine that they had passed sometime yesterday or sometime in the night. Who knows, really? I mean, who knows? So anyway, I'm so thankful for experienced farm friends, because as hard as it is to reach out for help, like, I knew very quickly, like, I needed help, and I'm glad that I called. And then they were just so reassuring, like, that I hadn't personally done anything wrong. There was nothing that at that point, like, we could have done to save the babies. Unfortunately, it took us such a long time to be able to get those babies out. But I knew when I had come out, I could just tell. I already knew that first one wasn't going to make it. I just intuitively knew it was already gone. And so then at that point, for me, it became a race, like, okay, get that one out of the way, so then hopefully we can save the other ones, or one. But I mean, after them coming out, we just knew they were gone. So they were actually born with these really great big lumps on the side of their neck. So we've decided, several people we've all been looking into it, and we're pretty sure it's an iodine deficiency. And we're pretty confident in that. So I will be implementing some supplements for that, some changes in my herd, and getting some kelp in them. And I'm thankful that Birdie and her babies were fine. I'm praying that Rosebud is fine. And right now, really, we're just giving Cape everything possible to help get her through this. Things for infection, things to help her deliver the placentas, herbs for bleeding. I mean, you name it, like, you name it, we're giving it to her. So anyway, I am not posting this video. I am like for advice. By the time you guys see this, like, this will be over, and what will be done is done. So I'm gonna say that the reason I'm posting this video, and I'm doing it today, I'm doing it in this raw emotional state, and you know, while it's still happening, is because this is the side of homesteading that people don't see it. You don't see this on Pinterest. Like, this isn't on places. Some farms do share their stuff, but not everybody does. And if you're gonna be a homesteader, you need to be prepared. You need to know, like, yeah, it is wonderful to wake up every morning and go out there and harvest your eggs and bring in the milk and, you know, pet your animals and snuggle babies and pick these beautiful things from the garden. Yeah, that does look super romantic and wonderful online. That's the easy part. But getting to that part is really, really hard. And I don't want to stop anyone from doing it. In fact, I encourage you guys to be homesteaders, be connected with your food, be gardeners, or take on animal husbandry or something. You know, get connected in some way. And if you don't have the ability to do it on your own property, or you don't have property, hook up with a local farm. Because when we connect with our food and our animals and our gardens and the dirt, when we connect with that, and then we physically take that food within our body, it is so much more powerful than going to the grocery store and picking out a box of sterilized white bleached eggs, or prepackaged cut up beautiful meat, or vegetables that all look perfect. That's not real life, guys. That's not. And somebody has to do this work. If you are eating food, real food, I'm not talking about processed packaged products. I'm talking about food. If you're consuming it, someone had to do this work. Somebody cried over the loss of those animals. Somebody cried because they walked out and their whole row of carrots was destroyed by some rodent or something. Somebody lost a goat somewhere, or a baby, or a cow, or something. Somebody had a favorite chicken that didn't make it through the night. Okay? That's what's connected with our food. And you need to know that. And I highly encourage you guys to go through those things and learn how to deal with this kind of thing, and come out on the other side stronger, and learn the lessons, no matter how hard they are. Learn them, make the changes that you need to make. This is what Learn and Grow is about. It's not fluffy book reading. Yeah, you can do that, but experiences like this is where the growth happens. And you better bet that I will do everything in my power to make better choices and make better lives for my beautiful animals and my garden. You know I will. And you'll be watching. You'll see these videos. You'll see me making changes. I'll take you guys along for those, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'll tell you what I was doing, and I'll be looking online to see if there's anything else I can be adding. life has been really difficult. It's been really difficult. And sometimes when life is really difficult for an extended period of time, then we slip somewhere. And not that I haven't been still providing every bit of nutrition that I thought was good for my animals, but it's hard to admit, no, I have not been watching them as carefully as I typically do. That's really hard to say that, especially when I have my pain in the neck goat that I love so much sitting on my porch hurting. It's sad and it's hard. And it's hard to know, a lot of people say things like, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. Well, you know what? Sometimes, even just a little bit, accepting responsibility for really difficult things is really important. So part of this, as a animal caretaker, it is my fault. And like I said, you better bet I'll be doing everything in my power to make sure that this particular issue doesn't happen again, to the best of my abilities. I'm certainly not perfect. Don't judge people. Don't judge people on YouTube. Don't judge people in general about their practices, because YouTube is a snippet of what happens. I'm just letting you in on a snippet of what's going on my farm. I'm letting you into our pain. I'm letting you into this really traumatic event that has just absolutely torn us up, because I want you to see this. I want you to know that it takes stuff like this sometimes to be able to learn and grow. And maybe we're all hoping for a perfect life that doesn't have pain and for everything to be wonderful, but guess what? That's not gonna happen. It's just not reality. And that's okay. We're really strong, you guys. And those of us who have Jesus can lean on him, and he can be our strength. And that's how I get through this kind of thing. Praying and knowing. And I can call it intuition. I can call it the universe. I can call it the creator. I can call it whatever I want to when it comes right down to it. Do you know how I knew who to call and when to call? Because I prayed. I asked God. I asked God on my way in when I saw what was happening. I asked for wisdom and help and guidance to be able to do the right thing, and to give me strength and give me courage. Because I'll tell you what, when you walk out there and you see a leg sticking out of a goat, you know something's wrong. You know it's not right when there's only one. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for my creator. I'm so thankful for my relationship with God the way that I have it. And I'm so thankful to be able to share that with you guys. So no, I won't shy away from saying things like that. That's how I get through. And I'm not judging you. If you don't have him, that's okay. That's all right. But I do, and I'm really thankful for that. And I'm really thankful because honestly, I'm pretty sure that's what's saving my dough right now. And also the fact that I have such a huge farm support system. So if you're going to be a homesteader, find friends, not Facebook people. I mean, yeah, that'll work too. But guess what? Our internet's been out. So internet is not always going to be reliable. Find people. I mean, both of these people were within a couple of miles of my house and they could come. And I'm really, really thankful for them. So find people, find your support system, rely on God. Ask him. He'll give you the wisdom. He'll give you the knowledge that you need. And if you don't know, just keep asking until the answer comes. It will. It'll come. Seek and you will find. So that's all I'm going to say for today. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope that I have great news to share with you next time. Pray with me that I do. There's no time and space with God. learning curve.